The last node here will be the displace along the normal node. I'll hit tab, I'll write displace, I'll create this displace along the normal, and then I will connect the output of my multiply node to the amount input of my displace along normal node, and I see it's a dashed line. That's because I forgot to do something here, which is for this ramp to transform it to a float ramp instead of color ramp, and now you can see the line is not dashed anymore. And then I will connect the disp P to the P and the disp N to the N. Now let me select this displacement node, and I will turn on this bump only to make sure we are doing bump and not true displacements. Then I will go up, then up, and here I will do promote material parameters. And you can see this displacement tab appeared here, and inside it I can see my ramp. Let me now edit this ramp, so I will create another point here and another point here. I'll move this point a little bit down, and I will leave this point here, around here, and then the value for this one I'll make it 1, and the value for this one also I'll make it 1, and then I will take those two values a little bit up. This will be okay. Then I will transform the interpolation of this one to cut mode ROM. For this one I will not use displacement bound since I'm not doing true displacements, so I won't need a properties node for now. Okay, this displacement now is ready. Let me go and give displacement to the inner part of the square light. Let me just show it to you. I'll just go to my obj context. I'll hit P to hide this parameters window, and I'll go inside my square light, then inside this square light inner shadow. And if I select this box, let me hit W in my viewport, and let me turn off the template flag here, and then I'll select this box, and you can see it in my viewport. I will hit enter so it gets highlighted so it's easier for you to see, and now you can see it here. So it's this box here I need to do displacements on. It's true that you cannot directly see this box in the render. If I hit W, you can see that you cannot see it in the render, but when displaced it will give me a cool looking shadow on this bottom part here of my light. So let me use one of the built-in displacement materials for this one. I will go to the material palette, and here I will search for the square light material, which is here. I'll expand it, and then I'll create a noise displacement material. It's here, so I'll just drag it and drop it here, and I'll rename it to square light inner shadow. Let me go to its parameters. Here I'm only interested with the displacement part, and the only thing I want to alter is this overall scale. I'll just take it to 0.08, and I will leave everything else as default. In its properties tab, you can see that true displacements is checked on, and that its displacement bound is connected. If I click on it, you can see this CH scale, which means, let me just put the mouse here, and you can see this parameter is called scale. So this displacement bound is connected directly to this overall scale here. Now let me assign this material. I'll go back to my network editor. I'll go up, then I will go inside my square light inner shadow, and here I'll just hit tab. I'll create a material node, then I drag it over this connection here, and it will get connected. And in this material parameter, I'll just specify the material, the noise displacement material, which is this one, and I'll hit accept. Now the displacements for this inner box are done, and it will give me cool shadows on the bottom of my light. So let us now move on and do the displacements for the teapot handle. Let me go to my teapot. In fact, you remember here before I assigned the teapot handle material to all the parts of my teapot handle, but in fact for the displacements, let me go to my viewport. For the displacements, I want to have displacement only on this part here, this upper part, but I do not want to have displacements on those two attaching parts. So an easy way to do so is by duplicating my handle material. Let me go inside my teapot materials, and here I will duplicate this teapot handle. I'll copy and paste it. Then I will rename the first one teapot handle no displace, and the second one teapot handle with displace. So I will leave the first one as it is, this one here, and for the second one I will add displacement inside it. But before, let me go back to my teapot, and here I will just delete this entry and I will assign the materials correspondingly. So I will go inside my teapot handle, and here I'll create two material nodes. This is the first one. I will attach it on this side. In fact, this side is the two connecting parts. You can see them here. So I will assign to them the material without displacement. I'll click on this button, and then I will assign the material with no displacement. Then I'll create another material node. I'll attach it here, and I will give it the material with displacement. I'll hit accept. I'll make this visible, and then I'll go up again. Now the materials are attached correctly. Let us get back to our material. In fact, I called it zip instead of disp, so just let me fix that. It's disp. And then I'll go inside, and I'll create a VFX displacement chop. I'll attach it here, and I'll create a properties node, and I'll attach it here. Let me dive inside my display shop, and for this one, the displacement will not be procedural. Instead, it will be an image-based displacement. So let me first create a texture node. I'll hit tab, I'll write texture. I'll hit P, and I'll change its filter type to no filter. I won't need this global node, so let me delete it. And then for its map entry, which is where I attach the texture file, I will make it a parameter. Then, of course, I will provide it with the UV coordinates. So let me hit tab and create a UV coords. Then I will connect the S and T. Then let me create the displace along the normal node. Here it is. And here you can see that the output of my texture is a vector, while the amount input of the displace is a float. So let me just add a luminance node. Hit tab, take a luminance node, and then I will attach the color to its RGB input, and I will take this luminance and give it to the amount input of my displacement. Then let me create a parameter for the displacement scale. I will use it later, and let me connect the P and N. Now let me go up. Here for my property node, I'll just add the true displacements and the displacement bounds. I'll hit accept. Then I will go up again, and I'll do promote material parameters. And now I have those two tabs here, the properties and the displacement tab. So I will give the displacement a scale of 0.04. Then I will copy this parameter, and I will make this displacement bound attached to this scale parameter here. So I'll just paste copied relative references. And now if I click here, you can see that my displacement bound is now 0.04. It's equal to this scale. And then I will feed in the table texture. So I'll hit on this button, I'll go to my textures, and I will feed in my table.wrap. Done. Now we have finished all the materials with their displacements. Let us give the render a shot to see where we are now, and then next I will do some finishing touches. Then I will talk about sampling in Mantra, and we will finish off the render of our scene. So let me hit render. And now I will stop the video, and I'll be back when the render is done. Here we go. It's almost there. We are so close from the final result. So let me next move on and do some finishing touches, then explain sampling in Mantra, and do the final render for this scene.